Now let us discuss social welfare policy. So again, when we say social welfare policy, it is only a subset of social policy because it will include how do we respond to the specific needs and problems like poverty. So all of those policies that we will implement in order to respond to the problem of poverty would fall into social welfare policy. It also refers to the specific area where we try to implement social practice or to be more specific, it includes policy advocacy. How can we advocate as social workers in terms of promoting changes in the laws and, legislation so that it will address the needs of the society. So the laws and regulations that govern which social welfare exists, the categories in order to identify who will be the eligible clients, who will be qualified, and what will be the standards that we will follow in order to implement the program serves part of social welfare policy. So social welfare programs are actually the expressions of social welfare policy, which must reflect the intent of empowering the individual. So the goal of empowering the individual is very important in order to qualify it as a social welfare policy. So the specific intention is really to help the people. And when I say help, it is not just for that specific day only, but towards the sustainability or empowerment. As a process, it consists of consequential steps in problem solving. So the usual helping process. As a product, social welfare policy are laws, judicial decisions, and administration or administrative directives. Social policies that focus primarily on the distribution of the benefits to those in need. So the public policies or public social policies are coming from these four dichotomous approaches. So we have the generic versus the categorical approach. When we say generic approach to social policy development, we are seeking for the particular outcome for the entire population. It's generic because it's for all, such as healthcare or housing or health. So it's general. By contrast, when we say categorical approach, it will only focus to one segment of the population, such as the housing for the elderly or the healthcare for the children or education for the PWD. So there is really a specific focus or category that will benefit from the program. Another approach is the holistic versus segmented approach. When we say holistic, of course, it addresses the totality of the people concerned or the person or the whole family. While for the segmented approach, the development or policy development would only focus on a single factor, like when you are focusing to the income of the individual or their nutrition, it gives rise to a fragmented and confusing service system in which client must approach several different agencies in order to secure the services or result that they need in a system that completely falls to address or fails to address some of the important needs. So the problem, if you will approach it in a segmented manner, you will fail to see the whole how the entire thing works. So it's important to consider when making policies or developing policy to look at the holistic approach or how one sector could affect another sector. Meanwhile, when they say rational versus crisis approach, the rational approach places a heavy emphasis on deriving social policy from a careful and thorough study of a problem and issues. So by contrast, the crisis approach creates policy only when there is crisis situation or there is a something that we have to respond or to react to. So very few of our country's social policies have grown out of the rational planning process, because most of the time we would only respond to when there is already the crisis. For instance, the pandemic, we have not um, thought that this would happen. So the most of the actions are only reactive. So there was no rational planning. So admittedly in the first part, there are some policies that had to be um, reframed later on. So the rational approach requires thorough study of the problem and issues. So that's why it's more desirable. Under the multiple levels of social welfare policy, so you already know this, you have the macro, the meso, and the micro. So the macro level policy are the broad laws, regulations, guidelines that provide basic framework for the provision of services and benefits. So let's say the entire country. The meso level policy looks into the administrative policy that organizations generate to direct and regularize operations. So it's the group or the organization or the assigned branch, let's say, of the government. While the macro level policy translate macro and meso level policies into actual service to clients. So how can it reach to the people? So that's why there are a lot of analysis nga ginatulok ta nga dapat ang bureaucratic process of ensuring that the specific service would reach to the, let's say, household or the family or the individual should be simplified. Kaya kung damo-damo siya agyan, most of the time, ang pagkalabot sa actual nga mabaton, reduce na or it's already too late. So, ang help nga needed, let's say, which supposed to be addressed a specific issue, makalabot ang help, there are already other problems or something already came in to help them. So the delivery of the services, the assessing of the policy from macro, meso to micro should be simplified and well coordinated. And the last in the approach is future planning versus political context approach. The future planning approach gives careful consideration to social trends and probable future developments and tries to anticipate how the various policy options would fit and with what can be expected in the future. So, like we have the context of sustainable development goal in which we try to plan out or envision what will happen in the future if we will not do or address the issues that we have now. So you are visioning or planning with the future in your mind. While for the political context approach, you are considering the present political situation. So it is mostly concerned with solving the immediate problem. And of course, you only face with what you have now. So ang future wala na, later on na lang. So you are only considering the present. And most countries nga may mga, let's say, problems in poverty and hindi pagid amo naka-develop would usually resort to political context approach without much funds for the future or plans, if not only funds. Then for the most of the time, the political interests and pragmatic assumptions would also affect negatively because it can vary based on the type of leadership or administration and what will be supported and tolerated by the dominant forces in the society, which we know can change from time to time or from administration to administration. Okay,